Did you ever wonder what is the difference between raising all boys and all girls?
How big is the gap between them?
And which ones are easier to raise?
Today you'll discover the answer to these questions and more as you listen in on a conversation between a mother of 6 boys and another mother of 7 girls.
And you'll pick up a few practical child raising tips along the way.
This is Tiny Notes from Home, a place of encouragement and inspiration for your family as you journey with Jesus.
From the home of a God-loving and Christ-honoring family like yours, here is today's Tiny Note. To be honest, raising children
Oh boy.
is hard work.
It's okay. You want Daddy's nose?
To be honest, raising children is hard work, and all we've ever known is how to raise boys.
Now that we have a little girl, we're noticing, as you might expect, that she's very different from her brothers. There's this little squeal that she does when she's crying that we've never heard before.
God has made little boys and little girls very different to equally reflect His character and His glory. As boys and girls, men and women, husbands and wives, we are equal and complementary parts of one whole.
As we raise our little ones into young men and young women, it's important for us to nurture their God-given strength and point them toward His perfect will for their lives, in the home, at work, in the community, and ultimately in His kingdom.
So now that we're first-time parents to this little princess, we're trying to glean as much as we can from other families with lots of little girls.
And that brings us to our guest this week, a family that is raising 7 girls, and they're doing it remarkably well.
Meet the Gessler family, Jordan, Julianna, and their 7 children.
We have known this lovely family for many years now and have seen the strengths they can offer to your family today. They're not perfect, but there are some things they've gotten right in raising their family.
There are 2 things that make their family unique. They run a family-friendly YouTube channel, and they have 7 girls plus 1 boy on the way.
Today we're catching up with the Gesslers in their home to see how they manage their large family and the joys and struggles of raising 7 girls. All right, Jordan, thanks for having us over to your house. This is Jordan of the Jordan Michael Tuesday Show.
How y'all doing?
He's actually a serious man, but he's got a bit of a goofy side as well.
Yeah.
So
like 50-50.
50-50,
Yeah.
which is, it's a good mix.
So-
And that's what your YouTube channel, the Jordan Michael Tuesday Show, is a good mix of that as well.
Well, I'm glad. Do you think it's a good mix of that?
I think it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So we're going to spend a little bit of time with our friends here. We'll link their YouTube channel in the description below. And what do you say we go have some fun?
Sounds good, Brackin. Thanks for coming.
Yep.
All right, so thanks for having us here in your home and agreeing to do this interview.
Yeah.
Julianna and I sang together on one of our Silo Sessions videos, and that was really a blessing. We've just really appreciated your family and
we appreciate you guys too.
well, thank you. All right, well, let's get started here. What has surprised you the most about having all girls?
Well, I guess having them.
Yeah.
I guess I just never expected that I would. It's like a dream come true to me, actually, to
Really?
have this many. Even in the 7th one, I was really hoping she was a girl.
So, and you were raised in a large family and you had all brothers and then 1 little sister, right?
Yeah, because my mom was pregnant with the 7th brother when we got married, and then my sister was born later. So we've never grown up in the same home or anything. The desire to have a sister is kind of being given now and through having daughters.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say has been like the biggest challenge with having all girls or with having so many girls?
I think feeling like I really desire that when they are grown, they will want to be friends with me. And so how to cultivate that now. Like I want to put up this idea that I've got it all together, but actually having to be real in front of them and admit my failures is, I guess, being vulnerable with my daughters has been probably the biggest challenge for me, actually.
Right. You know, a lot of people say, because I have all boys, people will say, oh, boys are so much easier than girls because girls are so much more dramatic and emotional. And would you say, I mean, you had brothers and now you have daughters.
Yeah.
So would you say that's true? How do you feel about that?
I think it's a personality thing, really, because like I've seen boys that are more dramatic and emotional and boys that are not, and girls that are more dramatic and emotional and girls that are not. And so I think it really has to do with what the parents are like. The emotions are definitely there, just how they're expressed probably kind of mimics, my husband and I. I've definitely seen homes where the girls are more dramatic than in our home, so I think that probably is also mimicking our...
Right, and just the way you raise them, maybe, just how you are, just, like you said, your personalities. Do you feel like you feel more pressure as a mom of all girls than your husband does? Because it's like they're looking to you as like their primary female role model?
I think that Jordan feels pressure in a different way. Like he feels his own responsibilities to be a good dad to a bunch of girls. And then I do feel the pressure, like, I'm going to guide them through certain things that only a mom can guide them through. Right. And I hope the Lord continues to grow me so I can be a better mom to continue to do that, I made mistakes with the older ones, but hopefully I can get better and better. And the older ones will forgive me for that,
So how do you feel that you and your husband like teach your girls to kind of guard their hearts or, keep like a pure heart?
I think the biggest thing that I really appreciate about my husband is that he's got an ongoing conversation going with our daughters. So like he's always talking to them about all these different things. Because of that, it helps me to follow up and just be open about conversation. I think just being open so that they can talk about their struggles and we can talk about just having that open communication has been really huge. And if they have questions about this or that, just helping lead them in purity and guarding their hearts.
That's good. And you understand their hearts, where they're at, and they understand your heart.
Yeah.
Why you are saying and doing the things you're wanting.
We'll hear the rest of the conversation between Lindsay and Julianna in just a moment.
Including how she deals with all that hair. But first, let's briefly check in with the dads to get their perspective on the matter.
Okay, Jordan, thanks for letting us over to your house today. How you doing?
Good. Glad to have you here, Brackin.
We're here in your Jordan Michael Tuesday set. This is where you guys make your YouTube videos.
Yes.
So tell me what it's like to be the father of 7 daughters.
I'm going to guess the contrast is that you have to get used to a lot of words.
A lot of words.
Yes, there's a lot of words. It's a lot of making sure that you're connecting emotionally. We're having a boy now, and with 7 girls, we walked in a couple of restaurants sometimes, and people have paid for our meal. We don't even know who they are, so I hope that keeps happening. So that is what it's like to be a father.
Because they're like, bless your heart.
Yeah, exactly. They're like that. Actually, people always come up to me and they're like, poor dad.
Right.
And I don't want my girls to hear that, and I don't feel that way at all. I feel like spoiled and blessed.
And finally, what are you most excited about having a little boy? As you think about that?
What should I be most excited about?
You want me? You're looking for my input on that?
Yeah. I'm excited to see how it is, what it's like to connect with a young man. If it was with my dad, there's this I love dad kind of thing, and I want to impress him. And if I could beat him in arm wrestling at 5 years old, then I felt like I really won. With the girls, you don't have that so much. There's not this competition thing. There's like, I want to know where I am in your heart. You know what I mean? And I think both are asking the same question, but it seems like they ask it differently.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing your heart and your lives with us.
Sure.
And we'll swing back over to finish out the conversation with the gals.
Sounds good.
I'm really genuinely curious how you keep up with everyone's hair, because I have boys and we don't have to brush hair.
Right. Yeah, I know. And I've thought about like when I have a son, how am I going to cut his hair?
Yeah.
So all my girls have very straight, thin hair. So it's just easy. And I cut their hair. I just chop it right across the bottom. Most days I don't brush their hair, which is like, I don't advise this is a good thing. Sometimes Jordan will be like, hey girls, you want to go grab me a hairbrush and I'll brush your hair for them. And then the older ones are starting to do their own stuff.
Help too.
I'm not the role model for taking care of a bunch of girls' hair.
I don't know that you could. So I think you're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks.
So I just have one more question for you, and it's maybe just kind of an overall question about, just as far as you and your husband, like, what is your goal for your daughters? Like, what ultimately do you want to see for them in their life?
Well, the biggest goal is that I want them to always walk with the Lord, and that loving Him would be their biggest overriding thing. I would love that they would be doing exactly what He would call them to do, because not everybody gets married. I would love and desire that they all would meet a godly man But whatever God takes them, whatever path God takes them on, my desire would be that they would honor Him and love Him in whatever that is.
I really appreciate your heart and look forward to seeing how all of your girls, what direction the Lord takes them, and really excited for your little boy coming on.
Yeah, we are too.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for doing this with us today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
As parents, we are given the ever so important responsibility to nurture and shepherd the hearts and minds of His little children.
Someday we will have to let them go, but in the meantime, for those little ones that are still in our care, let us take this responsibility to the Lord. For ultimately these precious angels are on loan to us from heaven.
May the Lord be our guide as we consider the unique ways that He has created little boys and little girls to reflect His character and His nature. And may we magnify Him in all that we do by lifting our children into His care.
That's all for this tiny note. May the Lord bless and keep your family in His perfect peace. Until next time. So the bottom line is, who do you think is easier to raise, boys or girls?
For me, that's yet to be determined. It is yet to
Me
be
too.
determined.
So we're not the best ones to ask.
Yeah, but I think girls are pretty fun to raise.
Yeah, and we like the boys too. So
Yeah,
thanks for having
that's
us over, and we'll see you another time.
We'll see you back.
All right.
Like a handshake, half hug.